So this is the third video on the channel in the last week about the Houston Rockets, but this one is different. This one's not going to be about Alperen Sengun, Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., or even Reed Sheppard that much. This one is going to be about Ime Udoka and why he is just not fit to be a coach for this team. Allow me to explain. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BoxInOne, a basketball podcast and hoops commentary platform created by Roischand and Joachim, myself talking right now. Thank you for all of the support on the channel in the last month. You guys have been going absolutely crazy for the playoffs, almost about to hit 400 subscribers. And if you want more content like this, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. With that being said, though, the Houston Rockets are down 3-0 to the Los Angeles Lakers after what looked like to be a very opportune win. Some costly turnovers by Jabari Smith Jr. and Reed Sheppard. And then Ime Udoka had this to say in the post-game press conference.
Coach, I know the game just ended, but in terms of the way the game just fell apart at the end, how was it from your vantage point?
Horrendous mistakes. I don't know if you want to say youth or, scared of the moment or whatever the case, but yeah, you have a 6-point lead with 20 or 30 seconds to go, get a rebound, and just have to hold the ball and get fouled, or, it's basically a 1-on-4 and we throw it away. To combat it, make it worse, a terrible foul on Marcus Smart to give him 3 free throws. Next play, backcourt, you got it. Double's coming, you try to split it instead of throwing it to Alpi wide open. Another turnover, and then James makes a tough shot. Then the final play, for the last shot, we don't run what was drawn up. All the above.
Now, in all honesty, it's a two-way street, right? Youth does play a role in younger players making mistakes. Looking at what Reed Sheppard said, he simply said that getting the ball up the court with 30 seconds left is getting the ball up the court with 30 seconds left. He made mistakes, things happen. In my opinion, he took a lot of accountability, especially as a young player. That was great to see. But the issue is this goes far beyond this play. When you look at the Houston Rockets closeout lineups in March, in April, Ime was opting to use Aaron Holiday instead of Reed Sheppard in a lot of these situations. And now you're asking Reed Sheppard to do this in the playoffs because he's a better offensive producer than Aaron Holiday, and getting mad and saying, I don't know if it's the youth, I don't know if it's the experience, we just made a lot of costly mistakes, I don't know what happened. The thing is, you haven't coached this team good all year. I understand you lost Fred VanVleet. That was a big loss from the point guard position. Amen Thompson from October to now and Reed Sheppard from October to now, neither of them have really shown substantial improvement in their point guard abilities. You still lack the ability to game plan and adjust as a coach. Kevin Durant is getting doubled. Okay, how are you going to free up space for him? You had Jabari Smith Jr. saying, well, hey, he's got to figure it out. I don't know what else to tell him. He's one of the best in the world. He's got a hoop. The fact that that's the answer from a player after having time to watch film and having time to digest a loss is because a coach does not know what to do. This is the same coach in Ime Udoka who said, yeah, Alperen Sengun, you're our defensive anchor. Now, I understand Steven Adams got hurt and went out, but even still, just looking at the roster construction, I don't understand why anybody thought this Rockets team led by Ime would do anything. He's a defensive-minded coach with offensive players like KD, like Sengun. Sengun is not a defensive big. He's a guy who can pass, facilitate, do all those things. And in all honesty, if you wanted a blend of that, you should have never traded for KD. Jalen Green gave you the other offensive weapon with Fred VanVleet in the backcourt. Dylan Brooks and Amen Thompson were great defenders on the perimeter. I understand the Rockets were the 2nd seed, and they were only the 3rd team in NBA history to lose to a 7th seed. But considering where they were in 23 and 24, and now looking at their season in 24 and 25, and you took Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, etc. to 7 games, and to be honest, if Amen Thompson's calf just stayed on the bone a little longer, Game 7, you could have very well been playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. That is very impressive in itself. And then the Houston organization said, you know what, blow it up. We want KD. The thing about Ime Udoka is this has always been his MO looking back to the Boston Celtics days. In 2022, why are you playing drop coverage on Stephen Curry? And when we look at that 2022 season, Ime Udoka was leading the league in blown leads at one point in the first half of that 22 season. They just had a crazy turnaround. Schedule was a little bit favorable. The Jays both went crazy, so Boston became a defensive demon as a team, and Ime also had the size and length from the guys on the team to do that. But even still, the Celtics at one point were 8th or 9th seed, blowing a 24-point lead to the Chicago Bulls. People were like, what does Ime even do? His job was on the chopping block before that All-Star game turnaround. Ime Udoka has never been a coach that was really good at adjustments. And when you have things like letting the Minnesota Timberwolves go on an 18-0 run, and the best you can muster up is, we made mistakes, guys got to do better. You're the coach. You have to figure out how to help your guys get better. You have a staff This is why you're there. Stop complaining to the refs. Stop calling grown men the B word. Go coach. Go coachy, maybe, because in all honesty, the comeback was great, but the fact that your guys don't even have training for these types of roles says everything about what you're doing in practice. You're not doing enough. You're not coaching these guys to victory. You're expecting them to show up and ball out after the whole season not having trust in them and then getting mad when they don't show up. I understand the frustration. I understand nobody likes to lose games like this, but as a coach, you have to say that was on me. I should have prepared my guys better. Not I told them what to do and they didn't do it. Horrendous mistakes. Maybe it's youth or inexperience. Well, if it's inexperience, it's because they didn't get the experience they needed from you to trust them in those situations because you simply didn't play them. And that is 1,000% on you as a coach. No player, nobody else needs to look in the mirror more than Ime Udoka because Şengün 33-16, Thompson 26-11, Jabari Smith Jr. terrible turnover on the inbound, but you did have 24 on 50% from the floor. Reed Shepherd, you shot terribly tonight, 6 of 21, 4 of 13 from 3. He's got a lot of things to work on in general, but still 17 points. They tried, and for the most part, they played a great game, and they fumbled in the end. But it's up to the coach to teach his guys or teach his girls, regardless of the gender of the coach. It is up to the coach to teach their players how to navigate clutch situations. And Ime Udoka simply did not teach his Houston Rockets how to do that. With that being said, though, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Daily uploads the entire NBA playoffs, so you're still keeping our foot on the gas. And we thank you guys for the support so much. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow these socials in the description: YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, X. Wherever you get your hoops content, we're there, and we will see you all in the next one.